last couple of weeks, so the field is a little bit saturated, but we're ready to kick it off. Don't forget, today's game being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Crowd still filing in. Buffalo has won the toss. They deferred, so Oakland and TJ Carey will receive. Jordan Gay is the kickoff specialist for the Buffalo Bills. A lot on the line, and here we are in late December, and the Bills are still in it. They're going to need some help, but they're still alive. Away we go from Oakland, California, and Gay powers run through the back of the end zone, and that's where the Raiders will take over at the 20, and there is Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, you got to be happy if you're an Oakland Raiders fan. Played so well this year in so many moments. It hasn't been easy. You got to keep it in perspective. Not a whole lot of talent around him in the skill positions. They protected him pretty well. Hasn't been hit too much. But I really like what I've seen from Derek Carr. Has all the physical ability to be a franchise quarterback.
Well, Derek Carr is the only rookie that has started every game this year at the quarterback position in the NFL. Oakland said they wanted to get their running game involved right away. They have to be able to do that. Latavius Murray making his second start, and he springs free around the edge out to the 25-yard line in a game of 6. Let's give you the lineups here up front. They're going to be challenged today with that outstanding Buffalo defensive line. Gabe Jackson, outstanding rookie. Tony Sperano very high on him. Backs and receivers, Latavius Murray looks like a breakout star perhaps in his second consecutive start. Raider Nation is behind him. He's a big back with a lot of speed. And Carr to pass down the sideline looking for James Jones, and it'll be third down. Let's take a look at the Buffalo defense, and you got 3 Pro Bowlers last year in Darius Williams and Kyle and Mario. Jerry Hughes has been a great pass rusher this season, one of the most feared defensive lines in the NFL. Preston Brown, the rookie linebacker, looks like he is on his way to a very good career in the NFL. And Stephon Gilmore, Chris Sims has him as moving into that elite cornerback status, right?
He certainly is. Size, speed, can play receivers at the line of scrimmage, very physical. Yes, look for him in the future.
Third down, 4. Carr throws it out of bounds. And that has been a problem for the Raiders all season long. They are the worst at converting on third down, and it's a quick 3 and out, and this Bills defense stands up tall right away.
Yes, this Bills defense, we've talked about it a lot already, but they got it all as far as we talked about the pass rushers. You could say all 4 of those guys in the defensive line could be Pro Bowl type players, but they're good at the linebacker position and also good in the secondary. That's what makes them such a good defense.
So Marquette King, who is approaching a franchise record in punts this year, his 95th punt of the season. And Thigpen will raise the hand, a fair catch, and good field position for the Buffalo Bills for their opening drive. And here comes Kyle Orton.
Kyle Orton done such a nice job taking over, and not an easy circumstance. No OTAs, no training camp, but he's managed the football, and the other thing he has done, he has brought some veteran leadership to a very young offense. That's what they needed. I think that was the biggest reason, making the switch from E.J. Manuel to Kyle Orton. They needed a steady hand, a guy at the command that's been there and done that.
Took over for Manuel week 5. And Orton hands it to Fred Jackson and tackled for a loss. Khalil Mack. Outstanding rookie linebacker, Khalil Mack. And let's take a look at the lineups. The Bills will line him up offensively. Seantrell Henderson is a rookie that is making a serious name for himself in the NFL this season. And then you got Sammy Watkins, talented rookie wide receiver, got a chance to go over 1,000 yards today if he has a big day. Officially no gain, so 2nd and 10. And Orton out to the flat. And that is C.J. Spiller, and that's a big story for Buffalo, Chris, as Spiller returns to the lineup after missing 8 weeks.
Yes, C.J. Spiller, one of the most dynamic running backs in football, can play on all 3 downs. And for an offense that's conservative, at times throwing the football, he's a great weapon to have for Kyle Orton, especially, who's a good decision maker, an accurate thrower of the football. He can throw some short balls to C.J. Spiller, and he can break it and take the distance.
Injured clavicle, had to have surgery on that clavicle. It knocked him out. So 3rd and 7 here. And Orton dumps it down to Hogan, and enough for a first down. Chris Hogan, a 10-yard gain, and the Bills move the chains.
Well, you see Orton in the pocket. He had man-to-man coverage. Hogan does a good job. Just basically got to the sticks, turned around, gets the first down. Hogan's been a great addition to this offense. Able to do it all, very smart, good route runner, and has good size as well.
Play action, Orton. Got plenty of time, now dumps it off to Fred Jackson. And Jackson near the 40-yard line, moving deeper into Oakland territory. The Oakland Raiders defensively up front, Justin Tuck, Justin Ellis, they call him Jelly. Antonio Smith and C.J. Wilson. Ray Armstrong makes his 2nd consecutive start. All eyes on Khalil Mack. And T.J. Carey gets the start at the corner position for Terrell Brown, who is out for the season. Banged up in the secondary on the Raiders. A whistle and a flag, and no play here on 2nd short.
False start. Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's C.J. Spiller. I would imagine he's a little keyed up after being out for so long.
I think you're exactly right. When you've been out that long, you're not used to being in this environment again. It does surprise you, even though you've been around the NFL for a while. Hey, practice, the experience, don't matter how good you are, it always helps to be out here. C.J. Spiller, though, I'm looking for big things from him today.
Fred Jackson in the backfield. And Jackson's got it. I beg your pardon, Boobie Dixon powers his way for a few yards. So Dixon, the 3rd of the running backs. And a 4-yard gain. Khalil Mack in on the tackle.
Boobie Dixon, he brings something to this running back core here. He's the power guy. In between the tackles, he can catch the ball coming out of the backfield. But as far as what he wants to do here, it's the power running game, linebacker safeties. As the game goes on, you don't want to hit this guy.
Dixon stays in. 3rd down 4 for Orton and the Bills. And just got it off, or did they? No, they didn't.
False start. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Craig Urbick jumping early. Clock was winding down anyway.
I'm sure that looked like it was on the center. Everybody else on the offense went except for the center. So Craig Urbick, he gets thrown out there, but to me it looked like it was a little bit more on Eric Wood.
Pick a number. So now it'll be 3rd and 9. Fred Jackson in the backfield with Orton. Orton steps up and delivers incomplete. And a flag comes in.
Definite holding, it looked like there on T.J. Carey in the slot against Chris Hogan. You'll see Carey right there in the slot. Robert Woods it is, excuse me, but he does a little slant return.
The pass. Holding. Defense, number 38. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
So T.J. Carey getting his start today. Terrell Brown out. They're a little banged up in the secondary. They've lost 3 safeties this year. Carey will get a lot of play today, and you figure the Bills, as you see Jason Tarver, the defensive coordinator, has to go to another rookie who is the 5th rookie that will start today out of last year's draft for the Raiders. This is Spiller.
Well, I think it's worth talking about Jason Tarver. I think he's done a very good job as a defensive coordinator this year. Well, you see this Raiders defensive line, they are stout up front. They got a lot of big guys. They are built to stop the run. And then there it is, Charles Woodson. He's a guy we'll talk about as the day goes on. He is all over the field. Amazing the level he is playing at right now. For as old as he is, he's still one of the best players on this Raiders defense.
Yeah, still very physical. A big hit there as Orton on 2nd and 10, going for the deep ball, and it is caught! Touchdown, Sammy Watkins! 42-yard touchdown strike, Orton to Sammy Watkins.
Well, it's strictly just man-to-man coverage. DJ Hayden on Sammy Watkins, and Watkins just runs a post route. Orton does a great job throwing him across the field away from coverage. And Sammy Watkins, this is one thing you can expect from the future, is a lot of big plays in the pass game. He's as explosive as it gets for an NFL wide receiver.
They go 60 yards, 42 of that belonging to Watkins on the reception. And his 6th touchdown of the year as the Buffalo Bills come out hot. First possession, they go down the field. A key penalty set up a first down, and Orton fires a strike to Watkins, and the Bills are on top. Well, this Raiders defense knows they carry a heavy burden today. As good as Buffalo's defense is, the Bills go right down the field. They score on a 42-yard hookup from Orton to Sammy Watkins. Gay kicks it deep. And the Raiders will get it started at the 20. Derek Carr back on the field. We'll see what kind of answer the Raiders have. Final home game for the Raiders here at O.co. Updated AFC playoff picture. The Bills are getting help today. Pittsburgh winning over Kansas City, and Houston has just gone final. They defeat the Ravens. That actually helps out the Bills. Good start for Buffalo. Now Oakland trying to respond from their 20. So Buffalo, they need to win out next week at New England. Kansas City, you become Chiefs fans. Bills fans, they need to take down San Diego. That amazing comeback win for the Chargers last night, a few miles down the road in Santa Clara. Doug Marrone saying all the right things, Chris. Just got to focus on what we have to do. They know they have to win 2 games, and you let everything else play out.
Yes, well, they're certainly out to the start they wanted to get to today. Looking good on both sides of the ball. Looking for pressure weak here. Looks like we got some blitz pressure right there on the weak side edge. That's what Derek Carr is trying to point out right now.
And a play clock down to 2, and Carr gets rid of it quickly. And incomplete. Let's check in for an update. James Brown and Bart to New York for an update. What do you have, guys?
Dallas knows what's at stake.
Tony Romo leads a 15-play, 80-yard drive punctuated by a 9-yard touchdown pass to Terrence Williams. Dallas up 7-0.
Looked like a Chris Sims-led drive. Back to Brian Anderson.
A big one. Dallas with a win can bring in a lot of teams to the playoff picture.
Cowboys off to a good start.
There's Carr on 3rd and 9, and Carr gets rid of the football under heavy pressure. And Chris, that goes back to the discussion. This line is great, a lot of sacks throughout the defensive line, but this secondary is fantastic for Buffalo.
Yes, the secondary is fantastic, but as Derek Carr, a young quarterback, you see Jerry Hughes coming from the backside today. He's got to have an internal clock today, knowing to get the ball out of his hand pretty quickly, because this front 4, you can't sit there comfortable and think you can wait for down the field routes to develop. They're just too good, whether it's at D tackle or defense end. They can get after the quarterback.
Marquette King back out there to punt. By the way, Jerry Hughes now with 10.5 sacks, or approaching 10 sacks, pressuring the quarterback. Thigpen, who ran a punt back last week. And again, good field position for the Buffalo Bills. Back at it after a touchdown strike. 2 short possessions for Oakland.
Well, welcome back to Oakland, 7-0 Bills. Let's look at that last touchdown by the Buffalo Bills. What you got here, you're going to see Chris Hogan come across, another post, and then we got a big deep post by Sammy Watkins. And as you could see there in the middle of the field, Charles Woodson, he jumped on the crosser. That left one-on-one coverage outside. Great throw by Kyle Orton. Good job by Sammy Watkins.
And now the Bills back at it on offense. Great field position. Their first 2 possessions. This one starts from the 40. C.J. Spiller. And there you see Nathaniel Hackett, the 36-year-old offensive coordinator, was with Doug Marrone at Syracuse. And as much as he'd love to open things up a little bit, he's had to be a little bit conservative here for a lot of reasons, but that's the kind of big ball that the Bills have been looking for.
Yes, Nathaniel Hackett's done a great job managing a lot of young players on this offensive side of the football. I've worked with him in years past. I really think Nathaniel Hackett has a bright future. He's got a lot of young guys to work with here. And with Kyle Orton at the helm, he can kind of direct traffic, make sure these receivers, young offensive linemen, everybody's on the same page inside the huddle. That's what Kyle Orton's brought to this Buffalo Bills offense.
So Spiller being used sparingly. Nathaniel Hackett said that Spiller would be used specific and limited to his particular skills. He's trying to reacclimate him back. Sets up a 3rd and 3 here for the Bills.
Will they pressure with these 2 in the middle, or will they drop out? They drop out.
And Orton escapes, wants to throw it, and now rips one to the tight end Chandler. And a first down for Buffalo, the 6'7" Scott Chandler on the receiving end.
Well, really good by Kyle Orton. They drop out. We showed that pressure up the middle. They drop out into a zone coverage. He has good pocket presence and then makes a nice, accurate throw on the run to Scott Chandler, who's one of the better pass-receiving tight ends the NFL has to offer.
Saw Cordy Glenn, the left tackle, lock up Khalil Mack. And a first down for Buffalo. Again inside Oakland territory. Orton looking to throw, dumps it down. And that's Marquise Gray. So effective in the passing game is Kyle Orton. And let's take a look as a starter. And he was sitting at home in Baton Rouge when the Bills called, was contemplating retirement. Finally getting the juices back as a starter once again.
Well, he's an ex-teammate of mine. We played at the Denver Broncos together. I was his backup quarterback. He's a guy that's never gotten quite the credit for his ability. He's a good decision maker and has a better arm than people realize. I sometimes wish he would trust his arm a little bit more and push the ball down the field a little more as well.
Running play here. And that's Spiller.
Antonio Smith, free agent signee out of the Houston Texans. Been great for this defense at defensive tackle all year. You're going to see him right here. Just fights through the block, runs down C.J. Spiller. But Antonio Smith has been a very good defensive tackle for a lot of years. That was a good sign by GM Reggie McKenzie this offseason.
Sets up a 3rd and 8, 5-yard loss for Buffalo.
Here you see it again, though. Are they going to come or not? The Raiders like to do this. They drop in the zone one more time.
And Orton across the middle again, and a great play by Woodson. Interception, Charles Woodson. And Oakland gets the ball back.
You can't say enough about this guy.
Charles Woodson, 17 years, headed to the Hall of Fame. His 4th interception of the season. Raiders ball. It is a Buffalo turnover, an interception. Charles Woodson with the pick gives the Raiders the ball back as Derek Carr back to work. Marcel Reese on the reception. Charles Woodson, how about that? 60th career interception, leading all active players. He does so much. This is not a guy just winding down his career, is it?
All-time great, first ballot Hall of Famer in my opinion. I don't think there's any question anymore. You see the statistics there. The interception says it all. I mean, a lot of guys play defense because they can't catch, can't play the ball. He plays the ball as good as receivers do in the NFL. That's what makes him so special.
2nd down. Here's Latavius Murray. And he is bottled up quickly.
Such a big turnover, though, for this Oakland Raiders football team. Things have not gone their way early. That interception by your veteran leader in Charles Woodson Take some pressure off your defense, gets them off the field, and hopefully this Oakland Raiders offense can do something here just to get a first down, because that will be the key. That's one of the problems for the Oakland Raider defense all year. They're just on the field too much.
Raiders offense leading the National League in a dubious category in 3 and outs. 2 possessions, unable to convert on the first 2. This time on third down, in and out of the hands on a big hit. Reese had it popped out. This very hard-hitting secondary. That was Corey Graham who dislodged it.
Well, he tries to go to Marcel Reese. He's not going to get the first down whether he catches the ball or not. And one thing I'd like Derek Carr to do there, I know he has to be conscious of a great pass rush, but there the pocket was clean. He had a receiver behind Marcel Reese open downfield. In that situation, I'd like to see him hold onto the ball just for another split second, let that down the field route develop, and throw the ball out there with an accurate throw.
And we'll see Marquette King once again, already his 3rd punt. He had 11 last week in Kansas City, and it's a boomer. Back Thigpen at the 27, slips down, and Thigpen is run out of bounds. That's a 52-yard punt. And we take a timeout. Buffalo 7-0. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Let's stay in Oakland. They hope that is the case, and it appears to be the case. Thought your fantasy season was over. It is not. Play for free, and you could win a trip to Super Bowl 50. Join today at NFL.com/playoff challenge. Kyle Orton, and he delivers to Hogan, and that one is picked off.
TJ Carey, excuse me. And I don't think he was touched, so he looked like he was good to get up and run.
Second interception, and as many throws, the Bills feel like this ball hit the ground.
And it did.
It looks like it might have. We just caught a replay. Again, across the middle, this one intended for Hogan, and you see right there, clearly the ball hit the ground. Ruling on the field was an interception and a bit of a run back as well. No whistles were blown, but this looks like an easy one here.
Yes, it does.
Kyle Orton has thrown interceptions in each of the last 4 games, but is a guy that protects the ball very well. And while they take a look, we will take a timeout. Nothing Bills back in Oakland, and because it was called an interception, they will take a look at this. Clearly, though, the ball was not picked off by TJ Carey. Craig Rolstadt is our referee today. And it looks like Buffalo will retain possession.
After review, the ball hit the ground. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It will be 2nd down and 10 at the 29-yard line for Buffalo. Timer, please reset the game clock to 3:53.
Well, let's just look at what happened on that last interception. I think if we look at the all-22 view here, you're going to see the safety, Brandon Ross. He kind of helps out Sammy Watkins over there. Chris Hogan down the middle of the field. Kyle Orton has him here, underthrows the football. If he throws a good, accurate ball over the top there, it could have been a big play for the Buffalo Bills.
Now, Orton and company work in the middle of the field a great deal there. Touchdown. They're just picking us up. A 42-yard strike from Orton to Sammy Watkins. Was across the middle as well. C.J. Spiller, the running back, trying to get him involved, and he's been bottled up every time. Khalil Mack and Miles Burris there with the tackle.
This is why Khalil Mack, you're going to see him at the end of the line of scrimmage, number 52. You can't block him with a tight end. No doubt about it. With Mack, he is a mismatch in the run game versus any tight end in football. And Miles Burris has done a very good job taking over for an injured Nick Roach. C.O. Moore this year. Been nice and consistent in the middle of that defense.
A lot of Buffalo fans familiar with Mack. Played his college ball at the University at Buffalo. On 3rd and long, this is dumped off to Fred Jackson. And he'll come up well short of the first down. So the Bills avoid the turnover, but they will punt.
That was a nice, safe decision by Kyle Orton right there. Oakland was playing pass all the way. They dropped 7 into coverage. There was nothing open downfield. Simply what you do there, he throws it to C.J. Spiller, hopes he makes a guy miss, and gets the first down that way. When you got a great defense like Buffalo, be conservative with some of your throws early on.
First punt of the day for Colton Schmidt. Carey will let this bounce, and the Raiders will take over at the 36. A reminder tonight on 60 Minutes, Scott Pelley reports from Cuba on the historic shift in relations, plus a surprising interview with the godfather of the Tea Party, Senator Tom Coburn. That's tonight, only CBS. So the Bills on their first possession go right down the field. Long pass play to Sammy Watkins for a touchdown. They were moving the ball after good field position to start it, and then a Charles Woodson interception. 3 3-and-outs for the Raiders as Derek Carr and company go back to work. Carr delivers one to the sideline. And that's caught by Tompkins. That's a guy Carr said he wanted to get involved in today's game, Kenbrell Tompkins. Take it back to the previous drive.
Well, one thing I want to show you, the Raiders coaches have talked about this, but here we go. They would like to see him hold on to the ball a little bit more, make some aggressive decisions, let it roll. You'll see Kenbrell Tompkins here, 3rd down. He has a chance to throw him the ball, takes the conservative approach, throws the ball to Marcel Reese. But if there's one critique I have of Derek Carr, hold the ball in the pocket just a hair longer at times and let your arm talent show.
First down for the Raiders. Latavius Murray in the backfield. That's Brandon Spikes breaking free, and a loss for Oakland.
There's a lot of meat in the middle of that defense, and Brandon Spikes, he was a guy I got fortunate to be around when I was working with the New England Patriots. He was the middle linebacker there. As far as run game, middle linebackers, he's as good as it gets in the NFL. Takes on guards, fullbacks, and just throws them aside, but comes off the field a lot in passing situations.
Saw Greg Olsen just raving about this Buffalo defense, as most offensive coordinators are. And Carr looked like the pass was there, but James Jones didn't see it right away.
Well, I think James Jones, he wasn't expecting to get the ball with the coverage the way it was. And he made a business decision there to protect himself.
Brandon Spikes was closing fast from the linebacker position. Searcy as well. Searcy returning to the lineup for the Bills after missing last week. He's out with a hamstring last week. So the first time they have moved the chains here. For possession. Carr going for the big ball. He's got a man open, and the pass is right there. Tompkins near the end zone as Carr finds a man open. 50-yard strike.
Well, I just absolutely love that. We talked about Derek Carr. He has a big-time arm. He can push the ball down the field. Kenbrell Tompkins been a nice addition to this offense. They signed him after the New England Patriots released him. But look at Derek Carr throwing the ball in the pocket. He's an accurate thrower. He's got a quick release. And I love seeing that right there. Some home run balls right down the field for Derek Carr.
Just his 10th catch of the year for Kenbrell Tompkins. Now Murray gets it. And he'll be bottled up quickly. Not a whole lot of room inside. Going to be tough to run against the Bills. The Raiders, they want to run. They feel like they have to establish the running game. That's going to be a curious matchup all day.
Yes, and I don't expect them to have a lot of running success. I think they're running the ball simply for attempts purposes only, just to keep that Bills defense honest and not to let the pass rush just tee off on Derek Carr in the offensive line.
Not expecting a whole lot of big plays today, but we've had a couple. Raiders knocking at the door here as we go to the second quarter. 7-0 Bills. Will return to Oakland after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. 7-0 Buffalo. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. The East Bay final home game for the Raiders, and a chance to score for the first time. 2nd and goal. And Carr in the end zone. Touchdown, James Jones.
Well, the Oakland Raiders, they do a lot of bootlegs with the young quarterback. Very smart decisions by Greg Olsen to run those because they're easy decisions for the quarterback. But what a great throw by Derek Carr, high in the back of the end zone. James Jones, who's been a nice addition to this offense. You can always rely on him. He can be a slot receiver, an outside receiver. Big drive by the Oakland Raiders there.
Janikowski ties it up. James Jones, the San Jose native, back in the Bay Area after 7 years in Green Bay. And his 6th touchdown of the year.
See, Carr just fakes the toss left, comes back. Good protection. And a nice job finding the receiver in the back of the end zone. Carr throws the ball very well on the run. He's a very good decision maker for a young quarterback. And he's a better athlete than people realize. And that's one other thing I'd like to see him do more and more. The ability to move in the pocket, run for first downs from time to time. But that will come with time. He just got to get more comfortable.
I see Derek Carr, 50 of the 70 yards he's thrown for today coming on that one long pass to Tompkins. But where he ranks, this guy's having a terrific rookie season, and the experience seems to be paying off. He could be the only rookie quarterback to play in all of the games this year if he can get to the starting line next week in New England.
Yes, it's not easy to be a rookie and start the whole season. It's physically demanding. It's mentally demanding. The great advantage Derek Carr has is he's seen his brother David Carr go through this. He's not your typical rookie, that's for sure, Derek Carr. Very even keel, never gets too up, never gets too down. And Greg Olsen, offensive coordinator, has done a very good job of managing him and a lot of the young offensive talent for the Raiders.
Janikowski boots it through the end zone. Buffalo will take over at the 20, now in a tie game. Now, Week 16 continues with Sunday Night Football tonight. That's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. And then tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Denver and Cincinnati. And that Cincinnati game has some great bearing for Bills fans. Denver, by the way, can secure a first-round bye with a win tomorrow night. Kyle Orton back at the controls. Fred Jackson in the backfield as they pack it in tight. And the Bills, who aren't having much success running the ball, another short game. Got an update coming. Send it to James Brown and Bart Scott in New York.
Dallas trying to sprint to the East title.
And Cole Beasley sprinting to the end zone. This is the 21st point of the first half. Dallas taking care of business.
That they are. Back to Brian Anderson, Chris Sims.
Cowboys got a lot of fans today, right? They win today. They bring in Green Bay and Seattle, securing playoff berths as Jackson gets the ball once again.
And the big thing for the Cowboys, if they win that game, they win the NFC East. They get to basically take Week 17 off and get prepared for their wild card game. You see Khalil Mack, you know, we talk, stats don't matter. I don't care what anybody says. The guy is unbelievable. Coming out of the University of Buffalo. The guy is going to be a superstar in the NFL. I have no doubt about it. You talk to coordinators around the league, when they watch the Raiders, all they talk about is Khalil Mack and Charles Woodson.
He is one of the front runners for Defensive Rookie of the Year. 3rd and 6. And Orton trying to dump it off underneath to Watkins, incomplete. And the Raiders defense, after giving up the long touchdown pass in the first quarter, have held up well. Had an interception by Woodson, almost an interception by Carey, and they're going to get the ball back.
And again, like I said, look at Khalil Mack again. He is the one that pushes the pocket, makes Kyle Orton have to throw the ball on the move, ends up being inaccurate. This Raiders defense, they are for real. Don't look at the statistics. It's been a bad offense. Left them on the field a lot this year.
Colton Schmidt, a terrible punt and a sideways bounce. And it's going to be terrific field position for the Oakland Raiders. Second quarter, all tied at 7 on CBS. All tied at 7 here in Oakland. Buffalo trying to stay alive in the playoff race. Don't forget, tomorrow these geniuses can solve any problem, but they can't do it without each other. Don't miss the new hit series Scorpion tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Turned out to be a great day here in the East Bay. So field position flipped. Now Oakland starting with their best field position of the day. Carr hands to Latavius Murray. And a short game, Marcell Dareus with the tackle.
Well, that's the one reason. Marcel's a little gimpy here. That would be a big loss for this Buffalo defense.
Fourth-year pro out of Alabama. He was a first-rounder in 2011. And this outstanding defensive line. See if we can pick up the injury here from Dareus. We will take a commercial timeout as the athletic trainers tend to Dareus. Second quarter, Northern California and Oakland. Derek Carr, and oh my goodness, almost picked off. That might have gone back for a touchdown if Brandon Spikes can secure that one. A rocket right in his chest.
Well, you can see Brandon Spikes there in the middle of the defense. They're just basically reading Derek Carr's eyes. And that's why he plays linebacker. Can't catch the ball always.
Dareus did walk off under his own power, refused any help from the medical staff, but he is headed back to the locker room now. That is a severe loss for the Buffalo Bills interior defense. Derek Carr's thrown for 70 yards, picked up 50 of that on the one pass play to Tompkins. Flushed out. Carr lets it rip, and the comebacker in and out of the hands of Holmes. Beg your pardon, Bryce Butler, the intended receiver.
Well, they brought weak side pressure there. You're going to see right off the side there. Will linebacker, free safety blitz. Carr, you can see the athleticism. That's Jerry Hughes chasing him, who can really run. And then you can see the arm. What a nice throw. Unfortunately, Butler could not bring it in.
Good coverage by Corey Graham. Marcus Thigpen will receive the punt. And for Marquette King, his fourth of the game. End over end punt. And he'll let it bounce free. Thigpen sees it go into the end zone. So Buffalo with their horse in the middle. Dareus headed to the locker room. They'll take over offensively. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by MetLife. And looking down at O.co Coliseum right next door, the Golden State Warriors are having some fun this year in the NBA at Oracle Arena. Sellout crowd, 7-7 game. 12:52 remaining in the half. And Buffalo takes over again. Orton, the quick hitter to Hogan. Second reception for Chris Hogan. He's been one of Orton's favorite hookups here this year. Special teams player Hogan, who has emerged as a pretty valuable receiver. And I know the Raiders were a little concerned about the matchup with Hogan today.
Yes, and they should be. He's great outside. He's very smart in the slot. He's actually from my hometown. We went to the same high school. He's got a really neat story. We'll tell you all about it later. But I'm really happy to see the success he's having.
Orton back to pass again across the middle. Robert Woods, and the ball is out, and it's recovered by the Raiders. T.J. Carey was there. Hayden poked it free, and Carey recovers the fumble, and another costly turnover deep into Buffalo territory.
Well, DJ Hayden, a first-round pick out of the University of Houston, battled some injuries his first 2 years in the NFL. But a great job sticking his hand in there, knocks it loose from Robert Woods, and TJ Carey's Johnny on the spot.
So at the turnover, officials
is under review.
will go under review here. We'll see what the call. This could be big. Raiders deep into Buffalo territory. We'll see what the ruling is. Got a big decision coming down here at O.co Coliseum, whether it was a catch or a fumble. Mike Carey, our officials expert, is eyeing this one. What do you have, Mike? What do you think?
Well, Greg, I've got incomplete, and here's why. In order to make a catch, you have to have secure control, then 2 steps completely down, and then do something with the football. You see, the ball's moving the whole time. He never demonstrates complete control, and the ball comes out before he really gets it put away. If I was ruling on this, I would rule this an incomplete pass, not a catch fumble.
You think it's really? I think it's really close. You could see it going the other way, though. Could you not, Mike?
Well, maybe you could, but I don't. Now, we'll see what happens. The ball's moving the whole time. He never gets it really secured. So that's not enough to get a catch.
Well, they are still deliberating.
Yes.
Greg Rolstad, our referee, still under the hood. He's come out. Now, this is going to be a big one here in the second quarter. And we have a call coming up.
After review, the ruling on the field has been reversed. The receiver never had complete control of the ball before it was knocked out of his hands and hit the ground. Therefore, it's Buffalo ball, 3rd and 8 on the 22-yard line. Please put 12:25 on the clock.
You the man, Mike. That's why they pay you the big bucks right there.
It's your game. I'm just hanging out in it. Thanks, fellas.
Good
Thank
call,
you.
Mike. So he was all over it, and that's huge. And Bills fans wipe the brow as the possession continues here for Buffalo. It is 3rd and 8. That could be a game changer. We'll mark that one. That's going to be one to look back on later in this one. TJ Carey thought he had a fumble recovery. All right, 3rd and 8 here. Fred Jackson in the backfield with Orton. And Orton looked like he was trying to make a run at Watkins, but had it deflected. And it'll be 4th down. Khalil Mack disrupting it once again. Good pressure by the defensive line of the Raiders.
Khalil Mack on another rookie, Chantrell Henderson. But Mack has it all. He could beat you with speed. You see he does a good job getting his right hand on the elbow of Kyle Orton. That makes the ball inaccurate out of Orton's hand, of course. But Mack, again, just so impressive. Can't say enough about the guy.
And that is 3 consecutive 3 and outs. And the 3rd punt for Colton Schmidt here. And he gets off a good spiral. Down at the 30, TJ Carey. And they got a little bit of room out across the 40-yard line. Good field position for the Raiders. 48-yard punt. And an 11-yard return. Don't forget, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights, first half analysis. They'll dissect that complicated playoff picture. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. All tied at 7, 12-11 remaining. We've seen a couple of big plays from each team in this game. A game that figured to be a defensive struggle. Latavius Murray had just nowhere to run.
Well, the Bills defense, they are crowding the line of scrimmage. That's why I would like to see Oakland continue to push the ball down the field a little bit with some shots just to back the Buffalo defense up a little bit. There's been a lot of snaps here in the second quarter where Buffalo has 8, 9 guys very close to the line of scrimmage. You're just not going to be able to run the ball against some of these looks against such a good defense.
Saw a shot of Marcel Darius. Bills are telling us he has a knee injury and is questionable to return. He's trying to get back in there. And here's Murray with room across midfield. Latavius Murray. Boy, so big. He's long and lean and very fast. A 4.38 40 runner. And with that kind of size, he has really burst on the scene here the last few weeks.
Well, I got to come out here to training camp to see the Oakland Raiders, and the first guy that jumped out to me when I walked on the field, I said, who is number 28? He looks like a stud, and now we're seeing why. The guy is ultra talented, can catch the ball, can break big runs, can run physical.
And you wonder what the absence of Darius means on a play like that. Stephen Charles is in there, and again, Murray breaks free, and across the 35, Latavius Murray. A 9-yard pickup, and the Raiders are on the move.
He's a guy that reminds me a lot of Le'Veon Bell for the Pittsburgh Steelers in running style. Big, upright, patient runner, good vision, and to be 6'3", 225 and have feet like that, there's not a lot of guys in the NFL with that size, the measurables, that can move the way Latavius Murray can.
Played his college ball at UCF. He's from Syracuse, though. And this time it's McFadden. And McFadden goes nowhere. Darren McFadden had been the starter. Darius doing all he can to try to get back in this game.
Darius is certainly one of the 3 or 4 best defensive tackles in all of football. He is in the conversation with Ndamukong Suh, Gerald McCoy. J.J. Watt is an interior defensive lineman. He is one of the best the game has to offer.
And a ton of sacks. He has 10 of them this year. Again, this is McFadden, and the running game starting to churn a little bit for the Oakland Raiders without Marcell Dareus. 8-yard pickup for McFadden.
And it really was all set up by the rookie left guard, Gabe Jackson, there against Darius' replacement, Stephon Charles. But this Gabe Jackson, number 66 in left guard, been a great draft pick by Reggie McKenzie, 3rd-round pick out of Mississippi State. He's huge and athletic. They like running the ball behind him.
180! What's up?
McFadden again on the carry. Back to the ground game go the Raiders. Brandon Spikes is there with the tackle. Searcy in there as well. One of the pictures for the Raiders offensive was try to get Spikes off the field as often as they can. He is a menacing figure in the middle linebacker position.
He really is. Brandon Spikes, I told you earlier, I was with him in New England. He's a giant for a middle linebacker. He's about 270 pounds. That's why he's so good against the run, but he's limited in his ability to cover down the field.
He's off the field in the 3rd and 3. Latavius Murray back in. Play clock at 3 with the snap. Carr going to the sideline and incomplete. Tompkins, the intended receiver, has 2 catches today, and the drive will stall here. Potential field goal coming as Janikowski on the field. Yeah, Carr said he wanted to get Tompkins involved today, and he certainly has done that. He's targeted him 4 times, and he's hit him twice. This will be a 45-yard field goal attempt for Janikowski. No problem. And the Raiders take the lead at home. Their final home game at O.co. 10-7 Oakland, the NFL on CBS. O.co Coliseum, 10-7. The Raiders have the lead. Coming in at 2-12. Buffalo, they're trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Khalil Mack has been a presence so far today. You talk about, the Bills, as Darius is still trying to convince his way back into this game. But, Chris, you mentioned it early. They've got some building blocks and some players that are starting to emerge. It's a 2-12 team. They compete. They bounce back well even after a shutout a few weeks ago. They got a lot of respect and reverence from the Buffalo side.
Yes, they did. The future looks very good for the Oakland Raiders. They've done a good job in free agency and have some young players that are really contributing to the team.
And Big Pen trying to spring free. Good special teams coverage by Oakland. Now the Bills are struggling to run against the NFL's 25th-ranked rush defense, and Khalil Mack's been a big part of that.
Yes, he has. You see him there coming off the edge in the run game, dominating a tight end in the run game there. The pass rush, deflecting Orton's arm. That's why he would get my vote for Rookie of the Year. He doesn't even always get to rush the passer because he does play stand-up linebacker at times. So his ability to pressure the quarterback, to me, is even better than people realize.
I love that stat. The Stuffs. He's got 12 and a half this year. Dumping down into the flat. And Spiller, the explosive running back who returns this week after surgery on an injured clavicle. trying to get him to break free. Haven't been able to do it just yet.
No, not yet. And this Raider defense is good, but you see Spiller comes across the formation. It's a screen to him all the way. TJ Carey does a good job not getting blocked, staying on his feet, at least being able to push CJ Spiller out of bounds.
So it'll set up a 2nd and 6. Orton hit his first 7 passes. Now 10 for 16. Orton wants to go in the air again, and he whistles one past Hogan. And it'll be 3rd down for Buffalo.
The Raiders have changed the momentum of the game. There's no doubt about that. You'll see here, Orton, little quick play action pass. He wants to throw the slant. It's not there. And then he's just being safe, throwing that to Chris Hogan. But this Raiders defense early on, they were struggling. Offense couldn't get anything going. I thought, the Raiders defense might be on the field too much, get too worn down. But the offense has come along, and now you're going to see how good this Raiders defense can be when they're balanced on both sides of the ball.
Orton faked the quick hitter, going to the sideline, too tall for Sammy Watkins. And Orton and the Bills, their 4th consecutive 3-and-out drive. Keith McGill on the coverage.
Keith McGill, a rookie, 4th rounder out of Utah. He's 6'3", so that's why Orton throws the ball high just to get it over his head. And Brandon Ross at safety, another guy that does not get enough credit for the job he does for this Raiders defense. When you turn on the film, he is all over the field in the pass game and the run game.
Colton Schmidt booms one high, spiraling down inside the 30. TJ Carey, and he is taken down. They'll start from the 26-yard line. It's like Justin Tuck nursing an injury to his left arm. Hey, a reminder, Saturday, CBS Sports rings in the bowl season with 2 high-octane scoring machines. A battle of the Devils, Arizona State and Duke. It's the Sun Bowl at 2 Eastern Saturday on CBS.
It's a good time of the year. Lots of football to watch.
Whole games everywhere, right?
I love sitting on the couch and watching football.
Derek Carr and the Raiders with a 3-point lead.
All the guys at the line of scrimmage. Going to be hard to run the ball.
What's up?
And Carr going down the sideline. James Jones will watch this one sail over his head. That's the thing about Buffalo. You trust your corners. You can pack everybody in tight. They're almost daring the Raiders to try to hit the long ball.
Yes, they are. And you know, we talk about their front 4, but you can't have a defense this good unless you're good at all 3 levels. And their secondary is phenomenal. We've talked a little bit about Stephon Gilmore. He is on the cusp of becoming one of the elite corners in the NFL. But their safety play is really impressive. They're athletic. And then Corey Graham, the other corner on the other side, has done a really nice job taking over for Leotis McKelvin, who was playing great before he got injured.
Here's Murray on the handoff. Pushes the pile forward, as he does so well, but that's going to set up a 3rd down for the Raiders.
You can certainly see this Buffalo defense is not as stout against the run without Marcel Darius. And it's been a good job by Greg Olsen taking advantage of that since he's been off the field. Looks like it's going to be pressure. A lot of guys at the line of scrimmage here for the Buffalo Bills.
On a 3rd and 5. And Carr flushed out. Now he's bottled up, and Kyle Williams grabbed him by the foot and brought him down. And the 50th sack of the season for the Buffalo defense. That is the league high.
Well, it was man-to-man coverage. 2 linebackers come up the middle. Just simply too many one-on-one matchups there that don't go in the favor of the Oakland Raiders. Carr does a good job just protecting the ball and taking the sack.
Now the Eagles got to 49 sacks yesterday. The Bills back on top. They own that spot. You see Darius heading to the locker room. So you figure he's done for the first half at least. And Marquette King punts once again. Thigpen avoids the first, trying to get around the edge. Can't do it. Raiders allowed a touchdown last week, but they've been good in coverage this week. 44-yard punt. All right, Chris, the playoff picture. So Bills fans are now, keep it straight for me, they're Steelers fans. I got help from them today. They were Texans fans.
Right.
And now you got to turn the tables and root for the Chiefs next week.
They got to root for the Chiefs, and they would like to see Baltimore lose again next week, or Cincinnati lose twice, which they play the Broncos and then have to go to the Steelers next week. So it's all capable of happening. The Bills, we've seen crazier things happen, but the Bills certainly are still in the race for the playoffs.
Gordon, and to the ground game goes the Bills. Fred Jackson on the carry. Might have to take a page out of the Al Davis book, right? If you're Buffalo, just win, baby. Just win and then let it all play out.
That's right.
Go from there. Bottom line is you're still in it in late December, and it's been a long, long time for the Bills. 99, their last playoff berth, and they have not had a winning season, which they can secure today, since 2004. So good times are coming for fans of the Buffalo Bills. Ruby Dixon in the backfield. He gets the ball and nowhere to go. The Raiders defensive line closing up quickly. Miles Burris and C.J. Wilson on the tackle. Now the Raiders have a long playoff drought going as well since 2002, the longest in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills, 1999 last time they appeared, so a 15-year drought.
Pretty unbelievable for two top-tier organizations to go on that long of a drought. But both teams going in the right direction.
Third down. Kyle Orton had that one deflected. Somebody got a piece of the arm. It was Khalil Mack again. That's twice now Mack has been in there and gotten a piece of the throwing arm of Kyle Orton.
Khalil Mack, we can't say enough. Here he is again on Chantrell Henderson. Makes a little up and under move. Hits Orton as he's throwing. That's why I keep saying stats don't tell the truth about what this guy has done. The stats can lie at times. Sacks, yes, they're not plentiful. They don't look like a great big number. But you see the disruption he constantly brings for this Raider defense.
To get into the metrics a little bit, the Stuffs stat plays well. Fifth consecutive 3 and out. And a wobbly punt. That'll go out of bounds. This will be good field position again for the Raiders. Now, Bills fans, we hate to do this, but we have to. The last time they were in the playoffs, 1999, the Music City Miracle. This is a memory that Bills fans all over the country would like to erase, but you got to get back to the playoffs to do that. But what a heartbreaker it was in a 22-16 final back in '99, and the Titans moving on that year. That was a tough one. Now, Doug Marrone, second year here in Buffalo after success at Syracuse. A former draft pick of the LA Raiders back in 1986. He's got some ties with Oakland and the Raiders. 4:16 to go in the first half. Derek Carr and the Raiders back at it with a 3-point lead. Latavius Murray and Kyle Williams wrestles him down.
Well, just another stud along the front four for the Buffalo Bills. Kyle Williams, he's kind of been the unnoticed guy this year. He goes to the Pro Bowl last year, but him, Darius in the middle, Jerry Hughes on the edge, Mario Williams, of course. The future for this defense, they're young, they're talented. They're going to be good for a lot of years to come.
And a ton of sacks leading the NFL across that defensive line. Carr finds Murray running back out of the flat. Murray turns it up. He's got great speed and into Buffalo territory. To the 43 he goes, Latavius Murray.
Great play call by Greg Olsen there. You're going to see Murray cross the formation, act like he's kind of pass protecting, sneaks out, goes unaccounted for from the Bills defense. And watch out for this guy in the open field. He can make it happen.
Latavius Murray, the Syracuse native, began to emerge against San Diego. Had a big game against Kansas City on Thursday night. And his second consecutive start. And a guy that seems to always fall forward with his size.
I think that's a great way to put it, Brian. That's exactly right. He keeps the offense in very manageable positions. Even like a play there, there's nothing there. He still kind of falls forward, gets 2 yards, keeps your offense in 2nd and 8. For an offensive play caller like Greg Olsen, a lot easier to dial up a play in 2nd and 8 than 2nd and 10 or 12.
A 31-yard drive ended in a field goal last time for the Raiders. And Carr dumps it. There's Reese. And Reese hurdles over the defender Graham, and a first down for the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders got this Buffalo Bills defense reeling right now, and I think it is because Marcell Dareus is not in the game. They've been able to run the football. That's made Buffalo now put some extra people in the box. You see Brandon Spikes is in pass coverage. That's not his forte. And Marcel Reese, an ultra-talented fullback.
Kind of an old-fashioned H-back, right? And effective out of the backfield. Raiders moving. Coming off the 2-minute warning. Good game going here. Oakland driving up 10-7. As the Bills try to keep their playoff hopes alive. McFadden powers forward. The running game has really picked up in the second quarter for the Raiders. Denoris Searcy had to make the tackle.
Well, it's just as simple as McFadden up the middle. Offensive line opens up a hole. If you're the Raiders here, take your time. In the ideal world, you just want to come away with points, kick the ball off to the Bills, and hope they have no time here left in the first half to go down and get any points of their own.
Raiders spread it out. And Carr has a touchdown pass today. And that one is out of bounds, incomplete. McFadden, the intended receiver. If you're just picking us up, Buffalo scored first. It was a 42-yard connection, Orton to Sammy Watkins in the first quarter. A couple of good drives to start the game for Buffalo. Then a turnover, a key turnover. Charles Woodson had an interception for Sperano's Raiders. And Oakland's been able to score twice. Long pass, 50-yard strike from Derek Carr to Kimbrel Tompkins, set up the touchdown, and then a Janikowski field goal. Over 100 yards, and Carr rips one toward the middle. Great coverage. Nickel Roby, second-year player out of USC, breaks it up, intended for James Jones.
Well, you're going to see Jones come out of the screen to your right here. It's just a little slant route, but you called it, Brian. Roby was all over it. I am one there that I would have liked to see. The Raiders have been running the football here the last few drives since Dareus has been out of the game. I would have liked to see them continue to pound the rock there on 2nd and 3rd down. But none the way they should come away with points here.
And a 36-yard field goal attempt is good. Back-to-back possessions ending in a field goal for the Raiders, and they go up 13-7. 1:11 remaining in the first half here in Oakland, the final home game of the regular season. Don't forget, coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. They'll have all the latest scores and highlights. That playoff picture is starting to come into focus a little bit. It's all coming up, Verizon halftime report. Charles Woodson with an interception today, and that really turned the game as the Raiders go 8 plays, 41 yards, back-to-back field goals, and we'll see how Orton and the Bills fare. Right around a minute to go in this first half.
Well, they got 3 timeouts, but you see the tale of 2 quarters here. The one thing, if I'm Buffalo here, they're going to get the ball with 3 timeouts. I would still be a little bit conservative in my approach on 1st and 2nd down. See if maybe you can't get a draw, a screen, just to move the ball a little bit, and then maybe you can get into your 2-minute offense.
Neither one of these teams known for the big plays, although we've seen a couple today. And Thigpen's going to bring it out. Marcus Thigpen trying to turn the corner, does so. Thigpen is wrestled down at the 23-yard line. That's where the Bills will start it with 1:02 remaining. Second quarter, the Raiders starting to do some things.
Yes, you see the throw there by Carr in the back of the end zone. Janikowski's been 2 for 2 on his field goals. The defense has played phenomenal. And then Latavius Murray, not only in the screen game, but he's had a number of really good runs here in the second quarter. Ever since that Charles Woodson interception, it has changed the momentum of the game, and the Raiders have been in control since that point.
All the scoring coming in this quarter for Sparano and the Raiders. On first down, the screen, and room to run as Fred Jackson plows near the 40. Get him out to the 37-yard line. That's a 14-yard pickup. And the Bills in hurry-up mode here as the clock ticks.
Yes, like I said, I thought they'd do something like that. You got to be careful because the Raiders got 3 timeouts, but now they can full-fledged just go after their 2-minute offense.
Orton toward the sideline, and it's deflected by Carey, almost picked off by Woodson. Carey's had a nice day, elevated into the starting lineup today with the absence of Terrell Brown, who's out for the season.
Yes, and Carey, he's the new fad in the NFL, big corners, and you see why, not only because they're physical at the line of scrimmage, but they have big wingspan. It's hard to throw around them. He's done a nice job playing this year for a young guy. Again, another good young player for this Raiders defense.
Stops the clock, second down for Buffalo. 35 seconds remaining, and Orton to the sideline. That is caught. And Woods trying to wrestle a couple of extra yards out of it.
Timeout. Timeout by the Bills. Smart thing to do there.
And Carpenter, his season long is 58 yards. That was week 5. His career long is 60. So you see where the Bills would like to get him to have a shot.
Well, it's third down. Here's the throw by Orton. You see it's a little low. That makes it hard for Woods. I can't see. It looks like he caught the ball there, but he was unable to get out of bounds. That's why it was a smart timeout by Doug Marrone. And we'll see what the Bills come out with here on third down.
Third down and 6, and now the whistles come in. I kind of half expected them to take a look at it, and it was a little late in the process, just as the Bills were heading to the line of scrimmage.
The previous play is under review.
And there you go. So Craig Rolstadt will head under the hood, and they'll take a look at it. So if it's an incomplete pass, put maybe a second or 2 on. I don't even know if it would be that much, but
From what we saw it a second ago, from that first look, I mean, it is close, but I don't know if I saw anything to overturn it. The ball can hit the ground, remember, everybody at home. It's just all about whether he has control. I don't know if there's enough from that angle to overturn anything.
so we're really only talking about a 4-yard gain if it's a complete pass and the timeout. If it's incomplete, it's 3rd and 10, get your timeout back. So I think the outcome of this decision is quite as weighty as the other 2 that we've had, especially the fumble recovery that was overturned and called an incomplete pass. That would have put the Raiders deep into Buffalo territory. That's one of the bigger plays of the first half.
I wonder is we had the timeout. There was time to look at it.
The ruling on the field stands as called. It'll be third down.
All right. So a catch, a timeout, third down, 27 seconds remaining in the first half. 13 unanswered for the Raiders.
Your Halloween costume, isn't it?
Fan support tremendous here, even with a 2-12 team. Gotta love them.
Well, it looks like it's going to be pressure from the Raiders. Orton directing the traffic.
And Orton looking for Sammy Watkins. He's got him, and Watkins falls down, back on his feet, and is corralled by Carey. Very wet, soft playing surface here as the Bills take another timeout. Good pickup, 13 yards for the Bills.
Well, Watkins, he's a physical specimen, running a little in-cut route there. I'm telling you, if he didn't slip and fall right there, could have been very interesting to see what he would have done after that catch. But Orton, great job in the pocket, making a throw with people in his face. I was a little surprised by the pressure by the Raiders defense there. I would have maybe gone the more conservative approach, drop people into coverage. Defense is playing good to this point, and they've been unable to push the ball down the field other than the big throw to Watkins early.
Carpenter leading the NFL in field goals made. Might have his chance. Need a few more yards. Like to get him across the 40. Again, his season long, Dan Carpenter, is 58. First down. And Orton dumps it out to Jackson just in time, and Jackson across the 40 near the 35.
Oh, well, what a phenomenal play by Kyle Orton. Veteran quarterback. People get on him quick. Justin Tuck. You'll see Justin Tuck. And Orton, that's what a veteran quarterback does. He knows where his outlets are, gets the ball out of his hand, and then Fred Jackson. Guy's been doing it for a lot of years out of the backfield.
See up above, Buffalo still has a timeout. They can go to the middle of the field here. 13 seconds remain. Second down. And looking across the middle, that's dropped by Jackson. That'll stop the clock. It'll set up a third down. 10 seconds left in the first half. I think Orton barking a little bit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think the thing what Buffalo's looking to do here is just get a few extra yards to make life a little easier on their field goal kicker. Right now, it's looking like a 53, 54-yard type field goal. I think they'd like to cut that down, 5-6 yards, get it around the 49, 50-yard field goal attempt.
Play clock down to 3. And Orton going down the sideline for the big ball and out of the reach. Looking for Sammy Watkins. Took a chance at it and just overshot his man. Nico Thorpe on the coverage.
Not a bad thought by Kyle Orton. They take a shot. Nico Thorpe on their stud fourth pick of the draft, Sammy Watkins. Orton just overthrows it a little bit.
All right, so Dan Carpenter is out on fourth down. 5 seconds left, and this will be a 54-yard field goal attempt. He hit a game winner from 58 Week 5 against Detroit. And he struck it well. That is through, and a big field goal for Dan Carpenter from 54 yards. Marrone and the Bills finally put some points on the board in the second quarter, and they'll go to halftime 13-10.
Really a nice job by Nathaniel Hackett, Kyle Orton, managing the end of the half situation.
Carpenter's been terrific this year. 13-10, Raiders lead it at the half. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Well, 2-12, the Raiders giving the Bills, who are playoff hopeful, everything they want here this afternoon on the East Bay. 13-10 our score. The Raiders have the lead over the Bills. And now let's take a look at the Bows game changer, Derek Carr, with a bomb to Kenbrell Tompkins, a 50-yard strike right at the end of the first quarter. And the Raiders would punch it in shortly thereafter as they got into the second quarter, and a touchdown pass to James Jones. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson, Chris Sims. Entertaining first half, and I think the big plays, I'm not sure we expected many, but we saw that one from Derek Carr to Tompkins, and the Bills struck first in that category.
Yes, the Bills did strike first. Kyle Orton up top to Sammy Watkins was certainly one of the big plays of the first half. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And then you look on the other side of the ball for the Oakland Raiders. It started all with the Charles Woodson interception. That Raiders team was reeling a little bit. He comes up with the big INT, and the game has changed from that point on.
Well, here we go in half number 2. And Buffalo, knowing they must win out to even have a chance at the postseason, they need a lot of help. We've kind of gone through some of the scenarios. Bill fans are familiar with it at this point. Buffalo will have the first possession here in the second half, and Kyle Orton, whose offense was churning along pretty well in the first few series, but then 5 consecutive 3-and-outs for the Bills until Orton with about a minute left in the first half, drove him down, got a late field goal in that first half. So a chance to add to it. And Orton dumps it out of the flat. That is C.J. Spiller, who really didn't get loose in the first half like the Bills wanted him to. Some of the keys in that first half. What'd you see, Chris?
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the first play up top. Sammy Watkins, that got Buffalo going in the right direction. And you thought, uh-oh, here come the Buffalo Bills. But then Charles Woodson with the big interception. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. And then Khalil Mack, look at him. He was all over the quarterback. Made Orton rush some decisions, hit his arm a few times.
Robert Woods. And they close it fast. Woodson to seal it off. Charles Woodson has been all over the field here today. Burris was the first to make contact. Burris is racking up a ton of tackles so far.
Burris, Woodson, it's unbelievable at this point in his career to still play the way he plays in year 17. I really cannot say enough about it, especially for a safety who's in the box and has to make a lot of physical tackles.
Third down, 6. Buffalo's converted just one of their last 8. And Orton and Khalil Mack again. Boy, Mack. We talked about don't necessarily pay attention to the stats. He's racking up the stats here today.
He's trying to get his vote for Rookie Defense of the Year right here. But Mack, it's just a menace. He really is. He does so many good things well. Does so many things well, I should say. But he has been all over Kyle Orton today. And a big 3 and out for this Raiders defense. Going to have good field position.
Looks like a star, doesn't he? Khalil Mack, his first sack of the day, has 4 for the year. That was a loss of 10, and the Bills have to punt it away. A booming punt. Schmidt to carry. Got a chance to return a little bit here, but a good tackle. And a 56-yard punt. Timeout. Oakland will have the ball when we continue, and a 3-point lead over Buffalo. Yeah, the outfit works, but the Raiders fans aren't in a giving mood today against the Buffalo Bills.
What's up?
Carr and company take over with a lead. Latavius Murray springs free across midfield, and Murray inside the 40. 25-yard gain for Latavius Murray.
Well, I think you can see what kind of special talent Latavius Murray is. He looks the part, he is the part, and we're seeing the absence of Marcel Darius continue to hurt this Buffalo Bills run defense.
Darius is out for the game. Terrific nose tackle of the Bills. And here's Murray again. Backs his way near the 35. 4 more yards for Murray. So Oakland, with Darius in the game, rushed for just 4 yards. But since the Darius injury, and since Corbin Bryant took over, 72 rushing yards for Oakland. Murray chewing up most of that. And Latavius Murray, since week 11, leading the NFL. He's averaging 6.7 yards per carry, and he's ripped off a couple of long ones here today.
What's up?
Murray again, wide open hole. He breaks through, and inside the red zone, Latavius Murray as the Raiders come out running the ball well in this second half. 17-yard pickup.
Well, they caught Buffalo in a blitz, and you saw the defensive line stunted there. Oakland Raiders offensive line, who hasn't done great. But you see the blitz off the weak side edge. Offensive line has not been great running the football all year long, but they are doing a good job today, not only in the run game,
No, 53,
but pass protecting
53,
very
53
nicely
to
for Derek Carr as well.
Okay.
Matt McCants, eligible receiver. Darren McFadden
180.
in the backfield.
What's up?
And they'll give it to McFadden. Back to the ground game, and there to bottle him up is Corbin Bryant. His second season out of Northwestern, and there's a lot on his shoulders right now with Marcel Darius out of the game. Will not return.
Well, Bryant just simply wasn't blocked there. That was a schematical issue with the Oakland Raiders offensive line. He went unaccounted for. That certainly wasn't supposed to happen. But the one thing that jumps out to me But Latavius Murray is in the game. Man, does he pop when he has the ball as compared to maybe some of the other running backs that are in this game right now. The size, the explosion through the hole, it's pretty impressive.
Murray continues to get a breather, and with the play clock down to 3, Derek Carr will take first time out for the Raiders of the second half. They're in the red zone. They've been efficient in that area this year. We'll see what they do when we come back. Alcatraz looking ominous as the clouds roll in Sunday afternoon in Oakland, and the Raiders.
What's up?
After a little bit of a loss, Carr rolls out and toward the end zone, just throws it up for grabs. Incomplete. Holmes at 6 feet 4 inches was trying to bring it down. Outstanding coverage by Corey Graham.
I like the throw. I like the idea by Derek Carr. It's one-on-one. You're a big receiver against a 6-foot corner. Go ahead, throw it up, give him a chance.
Raiders came out to start this second half of their first possession. 4 straight plays, running plays. First time of the year for Carr.
Hey, Ricky, 27 light.
Latavius Murray back in there.
What's up?
3rd and 11 for the Raiders. And again going to the end zone, and it is in and out of the hands of Rivera. The tight end, Denoris Searcy, with good coverage. So the Raiders take a couple of shots at the end zone. They'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
I like the idea of taking the shots at the end zone. It was a nicely thrown ball by Derek Carr to Michael Rivera. And Aaron Williams on coverage. It was great coverage as well. But nonetheless, the Raiders going to come away with 3 here if Janikowski can hit it. The way their defense is playing right now, it'll be a big 3.
All right, so a 38-yard attempt. Janikowski barrels it up, and his 3rd field goal of the day. Tony Sperano and the Raiders up 6 on the Bills. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Second half field goal gives the Raiders a 16-10 lead. Janikowski, it's his 3rd field goal in the Christmas spirit here at O.co Coliseum. And Janikowski sending Thigpen halfway into the end zone, and he will take a knee, and that's where Kyle Orton and the Bills will take over. Football fans, add some extra competition to the postseason. Pick this year's playoff winners, and you could win $5,000 with CBS Sports Perfect Playoffs game. See rules and sign up at cbssports.com/perfect. Brian Anderson with Chris Sims. Great to have you with us here at Oakland. A lot on the line for the Bills. They need some help, but got some help from the Steelers earlier today, beating Kansas City. And Houston taking down Baltimore today as well. Orton will pass, and that's Marquise Gray in a nice gain near the first down marker. He'll be just short. And a 9-yard pickup. So Buffalo, if you're just picking us up, they need to win these next 2 weeks. They've got New England on the road next week, Chris, and then they're going to need some help because their tiebreaker scenario is a mess with everybody in contention.
Yes, and the most important thing is the thing you saw there in the bottom, eliminated from the playoffs if they don't win today. They got to take care of this Raiders team first, and then yes, they do need some things to happen, but at the end of the day, it's win today or you're in deep trouble.
Jackson pushes it across for a first down. Buffalo is down on the head-to-heads. Their conference record is poor, so they're going to have to make it into the postseason via their record, their standalone record. That's why they need so much help, and they certainly have to get to 10 wins to even have a shot.
Houston beating Baltimore was big for them, and Cincy could certainly lose their last 2 games with the Broncos and Pittsburgh to end it off.
On first down, Orton down the sideline. Little miscommunication there. Woods broke off the route. DJ Hayden on the coverage. This Oakland defense has held up very well. You know, just the 1 sack, but a lot of pressures. Khalil Mack has a couple of deflections of the arm of Orton.
Jason Tarver there, defensive coordinator, has done a very nice job with not always a lot of help. But man, their run defense special today, no doubt about it. And they've been all over the Buffalo passing game.
Only 6 yards of rushing for the Bills today on 11 carries. 2nd and 10. Orton in the air across the middle, and misfires on his way to Chandler. Khalil Mack with the quarterback push. And Oakland defensively this year, and in the last 5 games, takes a little while for Tony Sparano to get things back in order. He changed the culture a little bit, changed the locker room. There was a lot of changes that he made. But they're starting to perform a lot better, especially on third down.
Yes, that is the big stat on the bottom there. The third down conversion percentage at Buffalo today, 3 for 11 on third down. That's why the Raiders are in control of this football game.
Yeah, Buffalo won out of their last 9 underneath Woods, and he is wrestled down. Very little game, TJ Carey. And the Raiders defense stands up tall once again, 4th down.
Well, basically what Buffalo is trying to do is pick on one side for Robert Woods to catch the ball and run across the formation. But TJ Carey, who we've said his name a bunch of times today, has really played phenomenal. This Raiders secondary been great in man-to-man coverage.
Carey back to receive the punt from Colton Schmidt. Played his college ball at Cal Davis. Well, he hits a boomer into the corner, and it bounces into the end zone. So the Raiders will start at the 20, coming off a field goal there last time. A 6-point lead at O.co. Back in Oakland. NFL on CBS. Great to have you with us. The Raiders with the ball and the lead. 8:25 remaining in the third quarter. And Carr on the play action. And sends one out of bounds. Nothing there. Looking for his running back, Latavius Murray, out of the backfield.
Well, the big thing there is that Kyle Williams, he wins his matchup up front, makes Carr kind of fade back in the pocket. And right now, it's a great decision by Derek Carr. Throw the ball out of bounds. Your team is up by 6 points, and the Buffalo Bills offense hasn't shown the capability to drive the football since the first quarter.
And Carr hands the ball to Murray. And this time the Bills ready for him. No gain. Murray's had a couple of nice runs in this one. Murray had a 25-yard run earlier in this game. He's rushed for 79 as they get a little chippy. Stephen Charles on his way to the sideline. 3rd down and 10 for the Raiders.
Hey, he's down, he's down.
And the 3-and-out story has been big.
Solid. Hey, you got zone.
Carr steps into it underneath. He's got Tompkins. And Tompkins looks like he's got enough for a 1st down. Stephon Gilmore on the coverage. Tompkins, who caught that 50-yard bomb from Carr in the first quarter, as Gilmore is on the ground.
You're going to see Tompkins come across from your screen to the left there. I'm not sure exactly what happened there with Stephon Gilmore, but he is down right now.
Very physical quarterback Gilmore. Injured his arm, his forearm last week on the first possession, trying to tackle Eddie Lacy of the Packers. He stayed in the game, though, toughed it out, but he is down once again here in Week 16. We'll take a break. Very talented corner Stephon Gilmore headed back to the locker room. Shoulder injury last week and went through the concussion protocol, and this replay shows you why as he hits the ground falling back.
Yes, whiplash. You see the back of the head hit the ground here. And the NFL, you know the rules with the concussion protocol. They're going to bring him in the locker room and make him go through the series of tests.
Independent physician will check him out. Ron Brooks is in for Gilmore. McFadden gets the ball. And McFadden still on his feet, and a 1st down for Darren McFadden.
Oh, baby. That looked like the old Darren McFadden right there. Goes into the middle of the defense there. Has the vision and speed to bounce it outside. Nice to see Darren McFadden have a little success.
Well, Latavius Murray, as you see, Ron Brooks, who is in for Gilmore. Latavius Murray doing a lot of the carrying for Oakland, but McFadden still in there, and a quick strike out to McFadden. And very little gain for the Raiders running back. That was Brooks. So just a heat check. See if Brooks is engaged in this game.
Exactly right. Had a good safe play call for the Oakland Raiders. A screen pass. Hopefully Darren McFadden, what they're really hoping there, just can make a guy miss and get some yards upfield. It's the new modern day run game in the NFL. Sometimes these screens, that's what people do instead of just running the football.
180! What's
See
up?
those rushing yards over their average. They've been very good as Murray twists his way down near midfield. Again, it does bear mentioning that Marcell Dareus went out and the Raiders almost immediately started to run the ball with more efficiency, and it was Murray with a number of those big carries. So now you've lost Dareus and Gilmore. Dareus is not coming back with a knee injury. Long and lean, Latavius Murray.
3rd and 5. Look at all the people standing up at the line of scrimmage, just trying to confuse the protection of the Oakland Raiders. Who's coming, who's dropping into the coverage. Makes it hard on any quarterback.
Carr sends it out to the flat. Here's Rivera across midfield. Powers his way near the first down as Michael Rivera. That second effort on the catch and run.
Well, they end up, you see all the people standing up, they end up only rushing 3 and dropping 8 into coverage. And Derek Carr makes a smart decision knowing that there's nobody open down the field, gets the ball to Michael Rivera, and now we're going to measure it to see if he gets the first down or not.
Yeah, the Raiders not happy with the spot. Bill's defensive coordinator with a keen eye on this measurement. Wow.
Just got it.
Yeah, he did. First down. Oakland, that second effort by Rivera moves the chains for the Raiders. Top 5 defense across most of the major statistical categories. 9th in rushing yards allowed. It's been one of the premier defensive units in the NFL.
Yes,
But they've got 2 key losses right now to deal with.
Yes, they do. But Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator, ex-head coach of the Detroit Lions, he's done a very good job with this defensive unit. They don't do a whole lot schematically. They just do what they do, and they're very good at it.
Play action with Murray. Carr lets it fly. It's caught by Holmes and out to the 35-yard line. Picking on Ron Brooks in the secondary again. Is Andre Holmes with his first catch.
Well, a lot of cushion by Ron Brooks. Understandably so. Andre Holmes is a deep threat. He is a guy that once he opens up, he can really run. And Brooks, having played a lot, he's going to play a little conservative here early just to get used to the speed of the game.
That's the matchup to keep an eye on. Top of the field with Holmes and Brooks. And first down, the ball is out, but Carr able to recover. Ooh. Had a very costly fumble last week that totally turned the game for the Raiders in Kansas City.
It looks like he might have re-aggravated that ankle injury that's been bothering him a little bit the last few weeks.
I don't know, maybe clutching the back of his leg.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It was a left ankle in London, a left ankle injury last week, and
looks like he got the knee of Mario Williams. Hits Derek Carr right in the left buttocks area. If you like that proper phrase there, buttocks. Hopefully it's nothing more than just a little Charlie horse dead leg type of situation.
Well, in the meantime, Matt Schaub, the backup quarterback, starting to get some throws in to loosen up as Derek Carr will exit the field here. Now, Carr has been able to remain injury-free for the most part. Did have a couple of dings. This was against Miami and London, left in the 3rd quarter. Injured his ankle and his knee. And then last week, injured his ankle again against Kansas City. Was hit by Tamba Hali. He did remain in the game. Also had a thumb injury that was at the end of that Kansas City game. Said it a lot of swelling after the game on the flight home. So he's out. Matt Schaub is in, who was brought here to be the starter until Derek Carr took the job from him during the preseason.
Well, it's great that they have him just for a situation like this. It's nice to have a veteran who you know has been there and done that to handle a situation. Second and long, though, if I'm the Raiders, I just run a draw, something real simple.
And right away, the play clock, it's 0-0. Wait, Schaub did get the timeout call, but that's the second timeout for the Raiders.
Costly.
Second timeout.
Do not like to see timeouts in the second half, especially in the third quarter. So precious. It's okay to do those things in the first half, but having 3 timeouts is the difference of maybe another possession at the end of the football game. And I think Derek Carr is going to come back in. I've seen him tell a few people he's okay. I think we're going to see him re-enter right here.
Yeah, and with the timeout, he can re-enter. And a reminder, tomorrow on CBS, 'tis the season for a holiday episode of NCIS Los Angeles. Join in the fun tomorrow, 10/9 Central, only CBS. This Raider crowd lets you know who they prefer in at the quarterback position right now as Carr returns after the timeout.
52, right.
Raiders down to 1 timeout and a long way to go here. Second and long. Carr out to the sideline. Tompkins. Well, he's been one of his favorite targets this afternoon, Kimbrell Tompkins.
Kimbrell Tompkins just running a little quick out, but look at the space. Ron Brooks, 10, 12 yards off the line of scrimmage. I'm so happy to see this Kimbrell Tompkins success. He's a guy that's close to the Sims family. My brother went to El Camino Junior College with him. They were roommates there. I root for him. He's a good kid who's been through a lot and worked his way into the NFL.
He's got 4 catches today. Again, Carr to pass, and at the feet of Rivera. Carr has been terrific throwing the ball on this drive, at least with completions. He's now 5 for 7.
Well, it looks like Carr was just hoping he would either cross the guy's face and run inside, or he wanted to throw the back shoulder. But young tight end, young receiver, they're continuing to grow with their experience with each other. Timing and rhythm, there is such a thing as far as quarterbacks and tight ends and receivers go.
Janikowski from 49 needs a hook and gets one. Sebastian Janikowski with his 4th field goal of the day. 19-10. Tony Sparano and the Raiders making a 2-possession game. A boomer by Janikowski, who's hit from 45 today as well.
Well, you can't say enough about head coach Tony Sparano. What he's done, taking over such a tough situation. They fire the head coach. He gets named the new head coach. He changes the culture, does some interesting things as far as adjusting practice schedules, workout schedules, very cutting edge, knowing that he has a lot of young kids on the team, but also knowing he's got a lot of older guys as well that he needs to rest. Tony Sparano is certainly one of the better coaches the NFL has to offer.
Well, now Kyle Orton and the Buffalo Bills. 2:36 remaining in the third quarter. Trying to get something going offensively.
And you see Sparano there. He's coaching up that offensive line. That's what he is at heart, is an offensive line coach.
Yeah, you got 2 head coaches in this game who have roots in that offensive line. 31 years of coaching for Sparano. He said this, by far, has been his best year, his favorite year to coach. He loves his players, and they love him back. His thick pen. And the Raiders doing a good job on special teams today. Bottle him up at the 17-yard line. Tony Sparano, and a lot of discussion. There's so much uncertainty here in Oakland. They feel like they've got the pass for next year. Reports are that they will remain here at the Coliseum next year, but you don't know about the staff. You don't know about personnel. Tony Sparano said, I've just been honest with everybody. No sugarcoating.
That's what I think makes him great. That's why NFL players, and you said it, the team respects him because they know where they stand with him. He's going to let you know if you're playing good or bad. And from my experience as a player, I just love when a coach is honest with me.
Worst field position to start for Buffalo all day. And Orton will pass. He's got his tight end Chandler in a short gain as DJ Hayden sends Chandler out of bounds.
DJ Hayden, a guy that was a high draft pick 2 years ago out of Houston. And I evaluated him coming out of the draft, thought he was one of the better cover corners. He's had a lot of physical issues, but finally healthy and starting to show his ability.
On second down, back to the air underneath Hogan. He's got it, looking for the first down and more. Chris Hogan cuts back inside and to midfield on a big gainer. Orton to Hogan, 31 yards it goes.
Well, Hogan coming across the formation, but you can see the size and strength that he has for a slot receiver, and then it's underrated speed once he breaks out.
Longest play since the 42-yard touchdown pass to Watkins. That was in the first quarter. That one intended for Jackson. Will set up a second down.
It's not every day you got a slot receiver like Chris Hogan, who's 6'1", 220 pounds. He's very muscular. He's a workout warrior. And he's very smart in reading coverages for Kyle Orton.
A former lacrosse player turned receiver. Incomplete for Jackson, and a flag comes in. And a huge mismatch out there. Yeah, it looks like they're going to get Justin Tuck based on his body language. He can't believe the call.
Before the pass was thrown, holding. Defense number 91. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And the Bills will move into Oakland territory.
Well, you were all over it, Brian. That's a tough call. I mean, he got a hand on him, but it's behind the line of scrimmage, and it certainly didn't look like he held anybody.
Tuck with his first year here in Oakland after 9 years with the Giants. Back to the ground game go the Bills. Nothing there for Fred Jackson. And Tuck is still hot. He is barking at the official on the sideline. Second down and 8. Nothing doing on the running game for the Bills today.
Looks like you're going to get pressure right there, maybe from Ray Armstrong. There he comes.
And Orton. And there's Sammy Watkins. Breaks a tackle and plows his way near the 25-yard line. Sammy Watkins, who caught the touchdown pass in the first quarter. Well, another big gainer.
That's why you got to be careful blitzing this Buffalo Bills offense too much. If you go one-on-one with these receivers, they can make plays happen after the catch. You've seen it from Hogan and Watkins on this drive alone.
Started at the 17-yard line. Nearing the red zone here. Buffalo down 9. Jackson. And a flag comes in. Miles Burris wrapped him up. Short gain. We'll see about the penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's the center, Eric Wood.
Well, you'll see there's Eric Wood at center position. He's got the task of blocking big Justin Ellis. And it certainly was holding. There's no doubt about it. This Raiders defensive line, they got size. Antonio Smith, Justin Ellis in the middle, wet, 300-pound plus. C.J. Wilson on the edge of 300 pounds too. You can't run the ball in this defensive line very easily.
Pretty clean game. Just the third penalty for the Bills. Orton out to the sideline, caught by Robert Woods. So they get a little bit of that yardage back as the third quarter comes to a close. So the Bills driving 19-10. They trail the Raiders. We'll return to Oakland after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Buffalo had the first score, a touchdown to Watkins. Kicked a field goal right at the end of the first half. Oakland's outscored them 19-3 since that first quarter. Second down 13 as we start the fourth quarter. And Orton across the middle, caught Chandler, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Scott Chandler, 29-yard touchdown reception.
A great play. Great play call by Nathaniel Hackett. Big time throw by Kyle Orton down the middle of the field. Chandler beating Ray Armstrong in man-to-man coverage. And Brandon Ross just a little late getting over there to make the tackle to save the touchdown.
Back-to-back weeks with a touchdown for Chandler. Scott Chandler now with 3 catches. Dan Carpenter to try to make it a 2-point Oakland lead. Boy, that was a big drive for the Buffalo Bills as they cross into the 4th quarter. And Scott Chandler, the 6'7" tight end from Iowa, on the catch from Orton.
Well, you're going to see Chandler right at the bottom of your screen there. You see Ray Armstrong in coverage. Feet get tangled. Great throw, like we said, by Orton. And Brandon Ross, he's the single safety in the middle of the field. Looked like he was favoring the receivers, Robert Woods, Chris Hogan. But good play call, good execution by the Buffalo Bills offense, and a huge drive right there.
Oh, and how about Kyle Orton on that drive? 5 out of 6 throwing the ball, 87 yards. Remember, that drive started at the 17-yard line. Got through a holding penalty in that drive. It ends up as a 7-play effort, ends in a touchdown. 2 TD receptions today for Orton. He hit Watkins in the 1st quarter, gets Chandler here in the 4th quarter. And Oakland now up 2 over the Bills.
Well, if I had one critique of that Bills offense, it would be I'd like to see them push the ball down the field through the air a little bit. But you got to be careful as well, throwing too much on too many young players on that offensive side of the ball. And I think Nate Hackett's done a really good job of managing all the different young guys at the skill position and offensive line.
Deep kickoff. And coming across the 20-yard line, Atkinson, the return man for the Raiders. All right, a couple of big injuries here. Let's get you caught up if you're just picking us up. First, it was Marcell Dareus in the 1st half and a knee injury. Tried to come back, Chris, but unable to return. And we've just been told that Stephon Gilmore will not return in this game.
Yeah, that's a big blow. There's 2 stars of this defense, no doubt about it. Their best interior defensive lineman in Dareus and Stephon Gilmore, one of the better corners in football right now.
All right, let's see how the Raiders respond. Up 2. Just getting the 4th quarter started. Carr finds Holmes, and he's hit him twice here in this 2nd half. Again, the Raiders are picking on Ron Brooks, who came in for Gilmore, and that's twice. Holmes has been a successful target for Carr.
I think you're going to see a steady dose of them attacking Ron Brooks. If they see one-on-one matchup, which they're going to have again here, again, it's Ron Brooks, Andre Holmes. To see them here at the bottom of the line of scrimmage.
Hands it off. Latavius Murray. Short gain. Murray's got a chance at a 100-yard game today. That gives him 86 yards. And a 3-yard game. So some of the numbers from this one, the rushing story since Dareus went out has been a big part of the picture for the Raiders, now up over 100 yards rushing.
Raiders have been very balanced. Buffalo has not shown any capabilities of running the football. I think you're going to see a lot of throwing the football by Kyle Orton and company from here on out.
Murray out of the backfield and pushes his way near a 1st down. Clock will roll on a 2nd down, and it'll set up a 3rd and short as Carr hits Murray out of the backfield.
Yep, running a little swing route, halfback wide. But Brian Anderson, you hit it on it earlier. The guy always falls forward, always gets an extra yard or 2. Now it's 3rd and short. A very good situation for this Raiders offense.
Get out.
Tackle eligible here for the Raiders. Matt McCants is in next to Penn.
No, we're good.
Oh, hey, Gap.
A lot of guys in the line of scrimmage for the Bills defense.
What's up?
Rivera and Reese will block, and Murray gets pushed back.
I don't think he got it.
Yeah, it's going to be close, but looks to be a little bit short. The big linebacker, Nigel Bradham, is the one who stopped the pile for moving forward.
Nigel Bradham Stephen Charles, but Bradham really makes the great play. He wins the matchup against Marcel Reese, the fullback leading up in the hole. And then Bills are athletic enough to rally to the ball and make sure that the Raiders offense doesn't get the first down.
And it's going to be a punt for Oakland. So Jim Schwartz's defense holds up. Marquette King, his 100th punt of the season. He has established a Raiders franchise record and is approaching an NFL record. Not exactly a record you want if you're the Raiders. End over end, fair catch. Thigpen will allow the Bills to start at the 24-yard line. And we do have a flag down. 35-yard punt for King. A 100 punts, had 11 last week.
During the kick, holding, number 30. It's a 5-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
So a drive that would have started at the 24, they'll back them up inside the 20 to the 19. 19-17 Raiders. Back in Oakland, and the Bills will take over after the punt. Fred Jackson wide open across the 20. Still on his feet and to the 26-yard line. Just some quick housekeeping here, even though Craig Rolstad announced it was a 5-yard penalty, actually a hold and a 10-yard penalty. So that drive, worst field position of the day for the Bills, which started at the 14. Now they're at the 26. The last drive began at the 17. They went down for a touchdown. Oh, Jackson cut down quickly by Justin Tuck.
Yes, I wouldn't suggest running screens at Justin Tuck. He's an older player. He's been a part of too many good defenses. He's seen the screen game a whole lot. Great job by him there, diagnosing it and making the tackle.
Makes it a 2nd and 14 on the 4-yard loss. And Jackson again, his 7th catch out of the backfield. And a nice move to get across the 30-yard line. So that'll set up a 3rd down for Buffalo.
Some zone coverage by the Raiders defense. And just a good quick decision by Orton to get one of his playmakers the ball in space. And Jackson does a good job making Ray Armstrong miss the tackle.
Danico Autry checks in for Oakland. 3rd down 5. Big one here for the Bills.
Looks like pressure to me. I think these two are going to come this time. Man-to-man behind it.
And Woods underneath the catch and close to a 1st down. He got it. Favorable spot. DJ Hayden was on the coverage and Robert Woods coming across the formation. And the chains will move for the Buffalo Bills. Quiets down this sellout crowd. And the final home game of the regular season here at the Coliseum. 1st down.
Right 77.
C.J. Spiller in the backfield and gets the ball. And Spiller fumbles. The ball is loose. The beanbag is down, and we'll see who comes out of the pile. I believe Buffalo jumped on. I believe Spiller got his own back, and he does come out with the football. Because that was the big concern, having not played, having not been hit in 7 weeks. C.J. Spiller returning from an injury this week.
Yes, just a little weak side run. Can't really tell who got their hand in there. Mayowa looks like Benson Mayowa, number 95, got his hand in there. Good job by him, but good job by Spiller covering it up.
Robert Woods again, and a short gain, short of the 1st down. So to the 46-yard line, and that'll set up a 3rd and 1 for Buffalo. Season on the line for the Bills. They know they have to win out and get some help to have a chance at the postseason. C.J. Spiller in the backfield with Orton. And almost picked off. Armstrong was there. A former DB at Miami, a converted linebacker. If he gets his hands on that one, he's got a chance to go the distance.
Yes, he does. And Ray Armstrong, that's what he's brought to this defense. Athleticism. He can cover for a linebacker, and you got to have coverage linebackers this day and age in the NFL. It's a passing league. So the day of having the 250-pound thumper every down, every play, that day and age is over. You got to have guys that can run with receivers and all the great tight ends you got in the NFL right now.
Drive stalls at the 46 of Buffalo. Colton Schmidt to punt it away. Carey is back. And that will bounce out of bounds. And that's where the Raiders will take over at the 20-yard line. 19-17, it's the NFL on CBS. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Oakland. The Raiders take over with a 2-point lead. And Tompkins, who has been a favorite receiver today for Derek Carr. Nice gain on first down. 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Derek Carr has thrown for over 3,000 yards today with for the season with his numbers today, and 327 completions, passing Peyton Manning, rookie quarterbacks, in the 300 completion club.
A lot of young guys right there. I think it shows you the state of the NFL right now about what we expect out of young quarterbacks this day and age.
Carr hands it to Latavius Murray, and the Bills will bottle him up. That'll set up a third down for Oakland.
A day and age of letting your quarterback sit there for a few years and get used to the NFL is over. When you're a high pick, you're expected to play right away. It's not easy, but Carr has really handled it well.
Rarely saw rookie quarterbacks start game one of a season and then go through the entire season. Carr has made every start this year. Week 16 here. He's the only to do it. Only rookie quarterback in the league right now to start every game. And Carr pushes it forward. Big push from the offensive line, and a first down for Oakland.
That was a long 1 yard. But get back there behind some big guys, and Gabe Jackson, Austin Howard, center Stefan Wisniewski. Great job there, just getting the first down, giving your defense a little rest, who's been on the field a lot here in the fourth quarter.
And remember, the Raiders coming into play today, the worst in the NFL converting third downs. That was a big conversion for Carr and company. Play action. And Carr looking down the field is hit as he throws. Stephen Charles got to him, and he couldn't get anything on the pass.
Play action pass. They were looking to take a shot down the field here. Stefan Charles, though, beats Austin Howard, gets a hit on Derek Carr. Derek Carr will be very thankful that he gets these reps as a rookie. Quarterback, in my opinion, the most impossible position in sports to practice. You got to get out here in this environment to really get better.
Second and 10, they give it to Murray. And Murray finds some space across the 40, across the 45-yard line. A flag is down, however. Would have been enough for a first down, but this might be coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
That's the center, Stefan Wisniewski.
You see Stefan, he's the center. Coming out on Jerry Hughes. Just gets the hands up on the shoulders.
And thus the room to run for Murray.
Yes. They're going to call that every time. When they can see your hands like that around the upper part of a defensive lineman's body, it's an easy call for refs.
Raiders involved in a penalty-filled game against Kansas City last week. Been a pretty clean game in that category. Second and 20, and a screen for Murray. And the Bills are all over it. Mario Williams makes the play, and it'll be a long third down attempt here for Oakland.
Second and 20. My days in New England, they used to call that a G-bot play. Get back on track play. Second and 20. You're just hoping the defense is expecting a down the field pass. Maybe you can get a cheap 10 yards to get back in third and manageable.
It's a loss of 2 for Greg Olsen. Let's see what he has in mind here.
Hey, zone 52, zone 57. Zone 52, zone 57. 180. Watch up.
And Carr, he's got some time. Rolls, fires, got a big arm down the sideline. Holmes caught it! Andre Holmes into Bills territory at the 30. 51-yard hookup from Carr to Holmes.
What a play by Derek Carr. Offensive coordinator Greg Olsen, he told us Friday meetings he would love to see Derek Carr.
And we welcome all of those coming across from the Dallas Indy game. They're revved up here in Oakland. Just a big strike to Andre Holmes. The Raiders with the lead and driving here. Oakland has had a couple of big balls in this, big strikes in this game. They had a 50-yard pass earlier, and this one goes for 51 to Andre Holmes.
Andre Holmes, a big receiver against a smaller DB and Corey Graham. Derek Carr, great job extending the play with his feet. We talked to Greg Olsen on Friday. That was the one thing he said to us. He'd love to see Derek Carr use his athleticism to his advantage a little bit more, and we've seen it a few times today.
Raiders are 2-12. Playing hard today, though. Buffalo, if they lose, they are officially eliminated. They're going to have to win out and get some help to make it. McFadden turns the corner, and McFadden out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Almost took it into the end zone. Official had him stepping out just inside the 2 in a 26-yard gain.
Well, just simply power football. The Raiders collapsed the left side of the defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. And McFadden, of course, we all know he is athletic enough to exploit a big hole in the running game.
180.
First and goal for the Raiders. Trying to add to their lead. This is McFadden and belted down by Preston Brown. Talented rookie linebacker of the Bills.
You said it, Preston Brown. He's been another one of these young guys involved in this game that the future is bright, coming out of Louisville. I've been shocked with his athleticism for a big guy. He's around 260 pounds, but he stays on the field all 3 downs. He can cover, and you saw what he can do in the run game.
And McFadden still in there. Latavius Murray has done a lot of the workload today for Oakland. This is McFadden, play action, Carr, and that's Reed's catch, touchdown! Olawale out of the backfield. And the Raiders add to their lead.
Well, the Raiders have been running the ball with a little success. Fake the run. Olawale sneaks out, uncovered. Preston Brown looks like he's in coverage, but he had to respect the run fake first, and then just a little late getting out in the flat in coverage.
Doug Marrone sees the Raiders taken down for a touchdown. Jameis Olawale typically in there for pass protection, the better blocker of the fullbacks. And Derek Carr hits him for a touchdown. 26-17, a flag is down on the extra point.
After the try for point was good, number 52, Buffalo, unsportsmanlike conduct. That ball will be assessed and the kickoff.
That's on Preston Brown. And they are revved up in Oakland. First career touchdown for Jameis Olawale. Carr hits another one, and the Raiders up 26-17 on CBS. Oakland, an impressive drive. 10 plays, 80 yards, makes it a 2-possession game. Derek Carr with his second touchdown pass of the day hit James Jones in the second quarter. And Jameis Olawale with his first career touchdown reception. Buffalo in trouble. 2:51 remaining in regulation. And after the unsportsmanlike, Janikowski will just send one into the net. And Buffalo will start at the 20. Set up for a good finish here. The East Bay Raiders lead it. Our aerial coverage of today's game provided by MetLife. Sellout crowd revved up. They are behind their 2-12 Raiders, and they're trying to take out the Buffalo Bills. 2:51 remaining in regulation. And the Bills got to go quick here. Kyle Orton flushed out. Tuck's got a hold of him, and down he goes. Justin Tuck with a sack.
Well, it's Tuck on rookie right tackle Chantrell Henderson. They run a little stunt. Tuck fights his way through. Tuck's been all over the place today. He's had a lot of hits on the quarterback, made some very good plays against the run, sniffed out some screens. I think we're seeing the talent of this Raider defense. Been pretty impressive all day long.
Buffalo takes a timeout. Let's get you caught up here today. It started with a Buffalo touchdown, a 42-yard strike from Orton to Sammy Watkins in the first quarter, and then the Raiders went on a run. They outscored them 19-3. They had a long strike as well. 50-yard pass play to Tompkins. They were at a 3rd and 22 on that last drive was Oakland. Yet they go down, they get the touchdown from Carr to Olawale. Playing very well at home. The Raiders are looking for their 3rd consecutive win here at home. As for Buffalo, Chris, they know they have to win these next 2 games. They're at New England next week and then have to have a lot of help. Doesn't matter if they don't come back in this one.
Nope, they're going to have to put some points on the board here in a hurry. Backed up in a tough situation. Going to have to start pushing the ball down the field a little bit.
Sammy Watkins, their downfield threat. Orton's looking for him, and excellent coverage by Keith McGill. Raiders a little banged up in their secondary if you're just joining us. No Terrell Brown this week. And McGill stepped in. He's done a good job today.
McGill's a guy I like coming out of Utah because of his size. Hey, we're all trying to find the new Richard Sherman in the NFL. It's a copycat league, big physical corners. Another good draft pick by GM Reggie McKenzie. He's a guy that can disrupt the line of scrimmage. I like the future for the Raiders.
A lot on this one here. 3rd down, 21. Bills backed up on their own end. And Orton, too tall, intercepted. Picked off, Brandon Ross. 2nd pick of the day for the Raiders. And the 2 safeties get the interceptions. Ross joins Woodson.
Well, Orton moving in the pocket, trying to throw to Chris Hogan on the deep cross route. Has to throw it over some coverage, just throws it too high, and Brandon Ross, another guy in this defense who's played very well all year long. He's Johnny on the spot and gets the INT.
The Bills, not an offense necessarily designed to go down the field, at least with the personnel this year. Young receivers, ball control quarterback. It's a tough ask to try to score twice. Now the Raiders in great shape here. 2:22 left in regulation.
What's up?
And ball control, Latavius Murray. Murray's been outstanding today.
Buffalo going to call a timeout here.
They'll have 1 remaining. Derek Carr, outstanding rookie quarterback, and the veteran Kyle Orton. Huge win last week for the Bills, taking down Green Bay at home. Now then, a world of hurt here in Oakland today, and they've got New England next week. Next Sunday, through the flexible scheduling, the NFL on CBS delivers a doubleheader. You got serious playoff implications. Don't forget to check your local listings. JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, Boomer. The NFL Today will get us started next Sunday, Week 17 in the NFL.
If you're the Bills here, you just want to stop and do a field goal. Don't let a run break out. Keep it to a 2-score game. You still got a chance.
What's up?
Second down, Latavius Murray again. There'll be a loss. And the final timeout for Buffalo. AFC playoff picture. See the division leaders almost all but wrapped up. Still some work there with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Bills fans actually rooting for the Steelers today. They got their 10th win over Kansas City. Indianapolis's loss drops them to 4th and a 10-win team.
That matchup next week, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, going to be for all the marbles in the AFC North. Pittsburgh can move up to that 3rd spot if they can beat Cincinnati at home, because they would have the tiebreaker in beating Indianapolis Colts earlier this year.
Now the Bills entered this final 2-game stretch with at least 9 losses each of the last 5 seasons. This year, a win would get them to 9 wins, which would secure a winning record for the first time since '04, not to be today. Murray bottled up once again. Preston Brown on the tackle, and they'll take this down to the 2-minute warning. 26-17, the Oakland Raiders in their final home game of the regular season this year. They have the lead. You're watching the NFL on CBS. And we welcome you back from Oakland. And a reminder for those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS, game between the Bills and the Raiders. Brian Anderson with Chris Sims. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. Sellout crowd. They're enjoying every minute of it. 48-yard field goal attempt. No good. Janikowski trying to hit for the 5th time, but cannot connect. He has hit one from 49 and 45 today. And it leaves a little bit of the door open for the Buffalo Bills. First miss under 50 yards this season for Janikowski when they needed it most. Game summary. Started with a touchdown pass to Jones, and then the 4 field goals from Janikowski. Bills cut it to 2. Scott Chandler, touchdown reception in the last 2 weeks. And then Jameis Olawale, Chris, with his first career touchdown, extended the Raiders' lead. Orton and the Bills back to work. And there's Chandler again. And just nothing going. Ray Armstrong makes sure of it.
It's really not even worth to throw some of those balls over the middle short right now with no timeouts. You got to either push the ball down the field to get chunks of yards or throw the ball towards the sidelines so your offensive player on the Bills can get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. And pressure. Orton springs free and winds it up. Delivers it to the sideline. Fred Jackson. And he's still on his feet across midfield. Jackson to the 40, 35, and knocked out of bounds around the 30. So Fred Jackson, a 34-yard pickup for Buffalo.
What a great job by Kyle Orton, staying on his feet. The presence to find Fred Jackson. Orton gets the ball here. Little pressure in the pocket. Antonio Smith makes a move, but what a great job just finding Fred Jackson. And Fred Jackson just does what he's been doing for years, getting yards after the catch out of the backfield.
8 receptions today for Jackson. And Orton a lot of time. This time hits Jackson again, catch number 9. C.J. Spiller did return to the Bills roster today, and he played, wasn't very effective. In the second half, especially the 4th quarter, it's been Fred Jackson mostly. Minute 27 in regulation, and possibly in the season.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, B.A., but the one thing I'll say here for Buffalo, no completions over the middle here. You got to push it down to the end zone or out by the boundary. It'll take too long. You'll waste precious seconds by spiking the ball.
Bills are out of timeouts. Play clock at 2 at the snap. Orton steps up, dumps it off. Jackson again. There is a flag down. Our referee, Craig Rolstad.
It's going to be on the Bills.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 14 covered the tight end. That's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on the rookie, Sammy Watkins. Well, Doug Marrone, you can't have that this stretch of the game.
Yep, you see Watkins up here. The tight end's on the line of scrimmage as well, so he's covering up. That's what makes it an illegal formation. That's the price of doing business when you got a lot of rookies on the field. That's part of the growing pains right now for the Buffalo Bills and their offense.
Second down. Orton with time. Now rolls. He's got Jackson out there if he wants it, but he's going for the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Woods. Robert Woods springs free in the end zone. A 30-yard strike from Kyle Orton. And the Bills still breathing here with 1:09 remaining.
Well, so often in these situations, defensive linemen, of course, out of breath. They're not able to rush the passer with quite the same aggression as early in the game. But great job by Orton and a great job by Robert Woods making himself available there. DJ Hayden falls down. Woods, another one of these young skill guys that makes this Bills future look so good. Woods, Watkins, C.J. Spiller, Chris Hogan, a lot of good players on this Bills offense.
How about Orton today, his numbers, but that drive took up just 46 seconds, 4 plays. Buffalo goes down, scores a touchdown.
That's Oakland's third and final charge timeout.
Had to take a timeout, did Oakland. Justin Tuck was injured and was trying to walk off under his own power, could not. So the final Raiders timeout. Dan Carpenter. And the point after, he's got it. And the Buffalo Bills within 2, 1:09 remaining in regulation. And a quick touchdown for Kyle Orton. Just a reminder, tonight on CBS, it begins with 60 Minutes and Scott Pelley reporting from Cuba, followed by a new episode of Undercover Boss, The Mentalist, and CSI. That's tonight only on CBS. Well, if you're Buffalo, you got to get the ball back. It's actually another penalty flag down here.
I think they might have thrown a flag on Justin Tuck because he came out here to yell at the refs. I think it might be a personal foul penalty or unsportsmanlike conduct. I think he felt like he was held on the touchdown throw.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Oakland, number 91. That's a 15-yard penalty that will be assessed on the kickoff.
Wow, assessed on the kickoff. It backs him up.
And you see Tuck, there he is in the middle of your screen. Now watch as he spins. He's going to get pulled to the ground. It is holding. You can see the guy falls on his ankle. I believe that's Eric Wood. So Tuck has had some tough calls against him today, and he lets his emotions get the best of him there.
Well, just to give it some context, earlier in the game, Tuck actually went out in coverage in the flat, was called for defensive holding, didn't agree. He barked at the official. Had a costly penalty last week, unsportsmanlike, with an elbow to the jaw of Kansas City quarterback Alex Smith, and that was a huge penalty in that game last week and a loss for the Raiders.
Well, hopefully for Justin Tuck, it'll be a mute point. It all comes down to this onside kick here. Either way, if the Raiders recover, they will be able to kneel on the ball, and the game will be over.
And because of the yardage, though, if they do recover, if the Bills do recover, they're in a golden spot to possibly kick a field goal to win this game. Here it comes. High bouncing ball, and that is Charles Woodson. There is a flag down. Woodson secured it.
Going to be offsides on the Bills.
Woodson had an interception today. Still playing great. 17th year in the league. Waiting the call here. A former Raider draft pick, Doug Marrone. Had a great relationship with Al Davis. Said he used to visit him often while he was a coach at Syracuse.
Kicking team, number 57. 5-yard penalty after the end of the kick. First down, Oakland.
All right, no timeouts left, and the Raiders can seal this one up.
You see the line of scrimmage there. You can't cross it until the ball's kicked. Looked like it was Boobie Dixon, number 26, who was just barely above or beyond the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they called it on Ty Powell, but I agree with you. It looked like Boobie Dixon.
It's fitting. Charles Woodson kind of started the turnaround with the big interception early on in the game, and then he gets the onside recovery to seal the deal.
Well, it's something here. Buffalo has not won a game here in Oakland since 1966. They did have a win in L.A., but Doug Marrone is going to see it come to an end here, his playoff hopes. Tony Sperano and Raider Nation. They've seen the Raiders win their last 3 home games. A lot of discussion earlier this week about the Raiders. A lot of questions whether they'd even be in Oakland next year. Reports are coming out that it looks like they're going to extend the lease by a year.
What's up?
San Francisco Chronicle reported that as well. And the Raiders win for the 3rd time, and the Buffalo Bills officially eliminated, and the playoff drought for the Bills continues. Longest in the NFL. Last time they were in 1999. Well, Derek Carr continues to impress. He's now up over 3,000 passing yards this season. Started every game as a rookie, the only rookie quarterback to do that this year, and he'll have one more week for his rookie season to come to a close. All right, Chris, playoff picks are starting to come into focus a little bit now.
No doubt about it. I think the big matchup, of course, is San Diego, Kansas City next week. We got to look at that. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh for the winner. The winner takes the AFC North. And then Baltimore, they got Cleveland coming into town. That'll be a big game for them. Never a dull moment in the NFL. Should be a great Week 17.
Yeah, I got a lot of great action next Sunday, next week on CBS. Final score, 26-24. Now tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by a new episode of Undercover Boss, The Mentalist, and CSI. For Chris Sims, I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from Oakland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS as the Raiders eliminate the Bills.